What's going on, guys? So this lure review is going to be on the ABT Lures X2 series square bill crankbait. They have about looks like four lures in the X2 lineup. Most of them are deep diving crankbaits, and then they have this square bill crankbait. So we're just going to pay attention to this square bill crankbait in this review. So let's check it out. Alright guys, so the ABT Lures X2 series square bill crankbait, you basically got two different options. They're not really size differences because they're basically the same size, but you have an option of whether you can get a floating one or a suspending one. This is the floating one. It has a length of 2.5 inches, a weight of 7/16 of an ounce, a diving depth of 0 to 5 feet, and like I said, this is the floating one. The next one is again 2.5 inches, has a weight of 1/2 ounce, so it's 1/16 of an ounce heavier than the non-float or the floating one. So the suspending one is 1/16 of an ounce heavier, and then it also has the same diving depth of 0 to 5 feet. As far as the 0 to 5 feet goes, I think that's a little bit ambitious for this crankbait. It's right at that 3 foot range, 3 to 4 foot range for me. It reminds me a lot of a Strike King KVD 1.5, just with less detail, or with more detail than the 1.5 of the KVD. You can see that this one's got a very aggressive scale pattern on it and gill plate on it. Also want to show it up against the Lucky Strike 1.5. It's right there in that same price point, $7, $7 or $8. So this one doesn't have the scale patterns, but it does have a gill plate on it. So you look at that up against there. One thing that I liked about this lure was the rattle. I would say about 70 to 75% of the crankbaits, square bill crankbaits that you're going to find out there are non-rattling. So if you're one of those people that are looking for a rattling crankbait, this one actually has a really good rattle in it. So back to the floating part of this. It's a fast float. If you're looking for something that will get you out of jams a little bit easier, or kind of help you to get out of jams a little bit easier, this one would help because of that fast float. Kind of like a balsa crankbait. It's not as fast as a balsa crankbait would be as far as floating is concerned, but it has a nice quick float back to the surface. And what that means is, like, when you dive down, if you're fishing it in heavy cover or twigs and branches and trees and stuff like that, and you get snagged up, this will kind of help you if you didn't jam the hooks home. And when you stop, that high buoyancy of the bait will help it kind of float back up and alleviate itself out of the jams that you'll get. So I'm not saying it's gonna get you out of every jam that you're gonna get into, but that's something that you want to look for if you're fishing in heavy twigs and stuff like that. On the flip side, that suspending model is nice for when you have fish that are lethargic and they're not wanting to bite a lot of stuff. They want to get a good look at it. You crank it through stuff, you pause it, it's going to sit right there. The fish are going to get a good look at it. So you got two different options, two different schools of thought there. I have two colors here. This first color I'm going to show you is called Purple Perch. Purple Perch is different for me, which is the reason why I got it, because it's a purple bait. I don't own any other purple baits that I can think of as far as square bill crankbaits are concerned, and I just wanted to go with something a little bit different. So it has kind of this lighter black back. It's showing up as pure black here on the video, but it's kind of a lighter black, and then just purple horizontal or vertical lines. It's got the ear there, like a bluegill ear, orange throat, and a gold sclera eye. So you would fish this bait in, I guess you can fish in like dirty water, cloudy days, that type of stuff, places where you have crawdads and stuff like that. That's the type of situation that I'd be fishing this crankbait in. So there's Purple Perch. On the other side, you have Sexy American Shad. Sexy American Shad, just like all the other American Shads, has like a dark teal on the back and then just your regular green blue here on the side. I guess they call it sexy because it has the same horizontal gold line that you're going to find on a sexy shad, except for this one it's gold. Most of the time it's chartreuse or yellow, and it's got a silver body. So, and this one has a silver sclera three-dimensional holographic three-dimensional eye. So, as opposed to the other one, which is gold. So, you'd fish this one more, and you can fish this one in clearer waters. I'd probably fish this one on slightly cloudy days or slightly stained water. You can fish it in clear water too. They seem to work pretty good. So, there's Sexy American Shad. Let me show you guys my measurement here. Got a measurement of about 2 3/8 of an inch on the body, and then when you add the rings, it's a little over 2.5 inches, and then when you add the bill, it is about 2 3/4 of an inch. So there it is, you guys. The ABT Lures X2 Square Bill crankbait. That's a mouthful. As a side note for a channel update, this will probably be the last square bill crankbait I'm going to do in a while, or shallow diving crankbait. I am going to do the Lucky Craft CBBDS, I think is what this is called. Fat CBBDS. So I'm going to do a review on this coming up pretty soon. Well, not pretty soon. Probably maybe in February I'll do that one. But as of right now, we've got a whole lineup of rip baits that we're going to do. So stay tuned for that. I'm going to be throwing in the Duo International reviews as well. So I'm going to have 2 reviews coming out every week for the next 4 or 5 weeks. So, excuse me, stay tuned for that. Thanks for liking the videos. If you guys like the videos, I really appreciate that. It kind of gives me the feedback. And then if you guys have any comments, just leave a comment below and I'll try to get back to you. Thanks a lot.